just have something I was going to ask you. I literally just forgot as soon as we hit start.
I had.
You know when that happens, I'm like, oh yeah, I have this great question to ask to start off the podcast,
Well,
and then I literally just forgot.
We were talking about podcasting in the closet,
Not in a gay way.
wireless latency setup.
The funny thing is, it had nothing to do with that. It was just a random, like, ice-breaking question.
Can you guess the time?
Is it 2:17? I don't want to look.
Yep.
So you have this weird thing about 2:17, and I've done a lot of research about what that could possibly mean in terms of, like, does it have some kind of spiritual meaning, or like, oh my gosh, you're such a spaghetti noodle kind of thing. Like, I'm a zucchini, obviously. I was like, maybe it has something to do with like stars and all that kind of stuff, and I couldn't find any relevance for it. And it's just definitely weird. I have a feeling that, like, you're gonna die on February 17th sometime because, like, what else could it possibly mean?
I don't like that outcome.
I just mean in the sense of, like, every time, like, you're not paying attention but you notice something, it, like, if it has to do with, like, when we play a video game, somewhere will be 2:17, like whether it's how much ammo you have left or just something random, like how much time's left in the match. There's random things are 2:17 for you, and I don't have that problem. I live normal.
Yeah, I thought I was too. The other day when I sent you that Instagram post, and when you were trying to find it, it said it was unavailable. I remember what it was. It was the Lakers game that they just played, or the Lakers game when I sent you that clip. They shot it and it went in, and it was like 2.17 seconds left. And I noticed it because it, like, LeBron went, dunked it, and then it, like, did the little them talking and huddling, and then it went to, like, the timer on the bottom, and it was just 2:17 right there. I don't actually, the only correlation to 2:17 is when I worked at Liberty Mountain, my punch-in code was 2:17 because they didn't have time cards, and I guess they're very, you literally get paid for how long you're there, and you have to punch that in. But before then, 2:17 was just my punch in and punch out. And then when I quit, that's when the 2:17 started. I was like, oh, that's weird. Maybe it's because I missed Liberty Mountain, I'm seeing it. And now I'm still seeing it like 5 years later. I don't miss Liberty Mountain.
That's definitely weird. I don't. So if anyone out there knows what the hell 2:17 means, if it has any kind of correlation anywhere, like, I've checked religious books of every religion. I've checked everything that has to do with the stars and all that kind of weird shit.
Yeah, Jessica's like into the star things, and she came up with some ideas, and I'm like, I don't know. She's like, is someone trying to tell you something? I'm like, well, obviously something is trying to tell me something, but I don't know.
Something is going on to always notice that.
I don't know what 2:17 means. I don't. And then, I mean, I feel like a crazy person, just like
for some reason, I tell people, to me, it's a date. Like, when I think 2:17, I think of February 17th.
Yeah, I think of a date, but I'm like, I don't know what is happening February 17th. I'm like, am I dying? I guess.
Or did something happen in February of 2017? Yeah, I'm like,
yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, I feel like a crazy person, like I said, but it's like I tell people that, and at first they're like, okay, Anthony, okay, you don't know, you're just saying that because I bet you're really into this kind of stuff, even though I didn't think you were until now. And it's just like, and then I just tell people randomly, like, it's 2:17, and we're playing something, and I'm like, it's 2:17, and they're just like, you're freaking me out. You got to keep that shit to yourself. I mean, yesterday we were playing COD Zombies or Warzone, and I'm like, Matt, guess how much ammo you have in your clip? 2:17. It's just like, I don't know what it is.
That's so funny. It's so strange. But how much did you get in your stimulus? Was it 2:17?
I still haven't got mine yet. You haven't got mine yet? No.
Yeah, that must suck. I got mine like that night.
Yeah, you think it would. At first, I was like, oh, maybe there's some kind of hiccups. But I'm like, they went through all the hiccups at first. That's why the second one should just be like, and just like that. But everyone I know and like everyone at Jessica's work got it except for her subordinate and her are the only ones that don't have it. And it's
Her
just like,
work bitch.
yeah, exactly. He was upset and I'm just like, I want my money. I just want my money. I mean, I want it to pay off medical bills. And that's pretty much it. And I just want my money. I feel like Bart Simpson on that episode where he's like, I want my elephant. I want my elephant. I want my elephant.
It's I'm not sure what I mean. It could just be like they hit the button and it takes forever to process it.
Yeah.
You guys
Plus,
got
it was
your
New
stimulus
Year's.
before I did last time.
Yeah.
Like I got you guys got your stimulus and like a week later I got mine.
That's what I'm
But
blaming it on. I'm just like,
all mine just went to cards. So I was like,
I was like, it was fun. Did you claim all three of your kids or two of your kids?
no, the 2019 we didn't, but this year we do.
Nice.
So it's
okay. Yeah, I was just
it
like, I
didn't
didn't
count
know.
for the stimulus this past time, but then like this tax season, it'll definitely give me a break because with how like just with income, because then it's I get to claim 3 dependents. So it's but yeah, as far as that, I'm like, it's I would like it for the stimulus, but at the same time, it's like,
Like,
meh.
it'd be good to have in the moment, but
Long term, I'm like, I would
realistically,
rather have the
shouldn't.
tax break for this year with how much I made this
Yeah,
year
I'm like, I'd rather get a
than
tax break
like the stimulus.
what, like that white lady meme.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I mean, I want it.
yeah.
Just
All mine went to
want it.
just like, oh, like I thought, and I'm like, I don't really need to buy anything. Like, I mean, I only have my 2-bedroom apartment, so it's like there's nothing really I can buy. Like, I have everything I need for the podcast. I have Eduardo already. Like, I got Eduardo with the last stimulus check. That was the only thing I really wanted. I got an air fryer, but that was $100. So it's like, my air fryer came today though.
Oh,
Good
is it
news.
awesome?
It is awesome. I forgot to run it before I put food in it though. So I
I
made
didn't know you could do
fries
that.
and or at least like to wash it or some shit, do
Yeah.
something with it, right? Because I just took it out of the thing, read the instructions of how to do it, and I made fries. And it started smell like not like smelling bad, but like it smells like when you first get something and you plug it in and it has like that smell of like it's never been turned on before. And it started like it made that smell, and I was like, that's a weird smell. And then like I ate some of the fries, best fries I've ever had at home, ever. They were awesome.
Damn it.
Imagine
Right now.
the perfect oven fries you ever made. They were twice as good and took half the time. Because like to make fries in the oven, it takes like what 30-40 minutes to get them like crispy.
Yeah.
Took this thing 12 minutes from frozen. It was awesome. I'm having wings tonight. So excited. The one I got was like 100 or 120, and it's nice because it has touchscreen and everything. I wanted to get a Ninja one, but yeah, they were like, you could pay for it, but it'll get there in February. So
I didn't even know I want one until I've been watching. I just finished Hell's Kitchen, like all the seasons that are on Hulu, but there's like 11 or 12 seasons on Hulu or something like that. But since we're watching that, and I feel like Hulu does better with their ad targeting, so it's like you're watching this show, so they give you targeted ads that are like that. But the Ninja has been doing hard with all like that, pushing their shit out and stuff. I have
their
Ninja
stuff
products;
is
they're
really
awesome.
good.
Yeah, like I have their little bullet blender thing, and I have like their big blender thing when I used to make margaritas all the time. But then they had like this air fryer thing, that the one you're talking about. I'm like, oh my god, it looks so awesome.
I totally would have got it
was
too.
on sale for like $100 at like Target, but I'm like, I can't spend $100 right now because I have to buy all these stupid gifts for everything, and I hope Santa gives me an air fryer.
See, that was like
that bitch didn't give me that or a PlayStation, so
like I was just like, oh, I'll just count that as like the family gift because I'm like, I don't really need anything. Nobody really needs anything. Like the kids got toys, so it's like that was like they're both in the dinosaur thing and car thing now, and so it's like I just literally went to the dollar store and just bought an ass load of dinosaurs and cars. And it's like then other people bought them like the the giant like sets of like Paw Patrol this and Hot Wheels that, and I'm like, I'm just gonna get them a shit ton of cars because they're not gonna know. so
Yeah,
then I
well,
got
that's the
that,
good
and
thing about that age is like they literally will
yeah.
play with anything.
But the problem is you can't like buy food for them, which it sounds weird. It sounds totally counterproductive because you would think, oh, I'm gonna get McDonald's, so I'm gonna get everybody McDonald's. Then if you buy the McDonald's, they don't want it. So it's like, you know what? I know what you like. Have it at home. Just gonna get me food. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I still have that. I'm like, I feel weird doing that, but honestly, it's like I go
Yeah,
to that
I'm like, I feel
Jersey
impolite
Mike's.
doing it, but
Yeah, I feel like a dick, and people probably think I'm a dick, but I'm like, go to Jersey Mike's, I get like a Philly cheesesteak or something, and I come and I like go back home, make macaroni for the girls and hot dogs in if they really want it, or like cup noodles, and I'm just they enjoy it. I mean, Jersey Mike's makes good food. They make really awesome grilled cheese. I don't get it because I'd rather like a cheesesteak, but they have a kids meal with grilled cheese. It's amazing. And Sydney didn't eat it. She was like, "Bleh." They do sell. The only bad thing about them is they do sell weird sodas. This is off tangent, but they don't sell Coke or Pepsi products. They have like the weird homemade soda. I don't know
like
what it's
Jones,
called. Kind of like Jones, but they don't taste like Jones soda. If that makes sense.
like Shasta.
Shasta would be better. It's like you know how have you seen like that all natural soda like at those random places?
I go to normal stores, Tony.
Oh, well, like they have some at Lee's by my house, and like I see them at Smith's and stuff. It's
Yeah,
like
like in the like they might have it in the soda aisle, but I always go to like I know where my usual diet Pepsis are, so I just like
yeah,
walk right to where because I'm like I don't
that's
subscribe to
fair.
that.
Yeah, because I just
I
like
mean I would use Jones to make like a mixed drink, like if I wanted like a
yeah,
really
I'm like
fancy rum and coke.
yeah, I'm like I'll buy it every now and then when I really want like some weird obscured flavor. But
Yeah, yeah, because yeah, that's but I'm always afraid. Like, have you ever tried the organic Rockstar?
no, I've only had
They
the
are
yellow one and like the
absolutely
green
awful.
one.
Absolutely awful. Ugh.
Yeah.
Um, but so with the whole PS5 thing of you still not getting one,
I was so close the other day.
where did you go online to see?
For a while, I just gave up. Like around Christmas, I'm like, they're not gonna have anything. And then not yesterday, the day before, I was just like, I woke up and normally I check Twitter. There's like a PS5 restock, like an
Oh, it's
actual
just
Twitter
yeah,
account, and they're the ones that have always like are really great about telling you like beforehand, but also like there's still some time left on this. I normally check it every day when I wake up, and that day I didn't do it. I'm like, I'm not gonna get it. I'm just gonna upset myself. I'm gonna get pissed off. Blah, blah. And I did do it. Made my coffee, sat down. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna look. And then 5 minutes before, when I was debating about doing it before I made my coffee, they dropped it. There was like it was on Best Buy and it was on the PlayStation Direct. And I'm like, I should have just done it.
you should have just done it. What could you have had to lose?
I know.
Think about it like this: your indecisiveness cost you a next gen console.
I know.
The so as you were saying, they dropped pretty much like the 31st or the first. Like they had
Yeah.
like a limited new shipment. Those went out within minutes, and
Yeah.
those were sold out within minutes. And as
Smiths
many
even had
as
some.
so, according to DigiTimes, in 2021, there's going to be as many as 18 million consoles that are going to be released, which is
And I'm not gonna be one.
not great. They're thinking around 10 million are going to be released by March, and
Yeah.
the initial figure was going to be 6 million. So there's still that's obviously that's still COVID's affecting it because realistically they should have had 18 million coming to just the States because Christmas. So the issue that's the issue is it's still they're only able to give like X amount because they're having to make them as they're going, which normally they would already have them made.
Yeah, normally
At
everything's
least
already
like they
pre-made
like
in a container
yeah,
shipping to the US.
exactly. So they're like they get it like usually a month before of like 10 million, and then they give it to the company, and the company decides where to send it. But the problem is they only had like 8 coming to the States at drop. So it's like, okay, well, 8 million sounds like a lot, but not when you think of, okay, there's 50 million people who want to buy this.
Yeah, there's just like, I know I'm upset, and then I'm still just like, maybe I just don't get it, because all the games I wanted to play on PS5, I have they're on PS4, and I have the Pro, so it still plays them at a moderately good thing. So it's just like, I just need to save my money, and I'll just buy a gaming PC. That's all the people right now. They're like doing their end of year sales, or they were doing it at the time, but they're just like, spend this much money, get this much off, or get this and this, and it's just like,
I honestly think you should, just because then like you
yeah,
still could play like the X exclusives that are there.
yeah. I can
And
still play
then
some exclusives because there's Microsoft. I can use the Microsoft controllers, which I feel the last gen ones I still feel that are better. They they feel better in my hands without being inappropriate. I mean,
well, and
I'll try.
I
What?
told you, like I have that $70 Elite
Yeah,
controller that I bought. Now that I do keyboard, and like I was telling you, I tried to use it the other day, and my hands felt clumsy. Have you ever played with like a toy or something? Like there's like all the new kids' toys that are super confusing. Have you ever played with one you don't know how it works and you're just like
you're
fumbling
just
with it?
like,
That's how I felt, because but the weird thing is like I've played controller games for all my life until like two.
yeah, until
When
like
was
a
my week off? Like 2 months
month
ago
ago. Yeah,
ish.
about that.
So then I'm like, okay, you know what? No, yeah, it's supposed to be more accurate. It's supposed to be more fun, more enjoyable. It gets you in the game more. And that's one thing I've noticed is like before I would be like, not as focused, but this you're having to focus because
Yeah,
it's like pinpoints of like if you're off by just a little bit, you fuck up your shot. But yeah, if you get one, I can give you that controller,
yeah,
so
because
you won't have
I
to worry
just
about
like,
buying a shitty one or paying a lot for a good one, because it's like, I mean,
yeah, I just,
I used cyber power PC, and like the parts I got for the price of the computer were very comparable to if I would have built it myself, I maybe would have saved like $50 or $100,
yeah,
if
because
that.
like there is a lot of a lot of pros with it. Though the big con is like, if it fucks up, it's on you. If you most places have a warranty that are like free, kind of like a 30-day thing or whatever. And if sometimes if you do get a defective piece, you got to figure out which one it is and why it doesn't work. You got to find the receipt that you had with it, and then you have to mail the piece back to the company
See,
with the receipt. And it's just,
it was nice because I did it through Best Buy, so I put Geek Squad protection on it,
yeah,
and I have it's a year of cyber power. And it was weird because when it got to me, I didn't know anything about computers, so I had to not take it all the way apart, but I had to take off the front and the back of the case to see what the problem was. And it all makes a lot of sense of like, you have your motherboard and the CPU goes in the motherboard. This little square in the motherboard has the fan on it,
yeah,
and then the graphics cards underneath the motherboard, and those are both plugged into the power as well as the fans. It's really all it is. You
yeah,
don't have to know like, and then the RAM's just the long rectangles that click into the clicky clacky thing. That's really all it is. So it's when it got to me, only the CPU fan was working and not the other fans, and I was like,
hmm,
that's weird. So I went to CyberPower PC, and it's like, if you need help, just do this and just type in your serial number, and somebody will help you. And it was like Saturday at like 8 p.m. or something when it finally got dropped off. And I was like, okay, well, I hope somebody's on. And boom, just somebody was right there. They're like, yeah, just make sure the fan, sometimes like things come unplugged in transit, or
yeah.
maybe they just forgot to plug it in. And so I just plugged it in and the fans started working. And I was like, good news.
Thanks,
Also, it
man.
comes with
Yeah,
Windows 10, so you don't have to buy any kind of OS.
that'd be great. Yeah, I just like, I don't know. I do a lot of photo video. I still want to like help like branding stuff for this channel and just like selling photo services and video services. I need something to edit stuff on. That would be a good plus already. That's why I'm telling Jessica, I'm like, I won't be able to get a Mac, which would suck because I have Final Cut, but I can use Adobe products just fine on there. I'll figure out how to learn how to do it, but it's like it could be my nerd system, but also like my workstation thing. So it's just,
Also, you can take your work with you and just get a Surface. And
yeah.
those
So I'm
Surfaces
just
are
like,
cheaper than iPads.
yeah. So I'm like, I just want, I don't know. I've always wanted a gaming PC and then still have like an actual thing, but it's just this whole console drop. Just, am I right? don't know how else I don't know what other word to convey. And it's just like, it sucks. I mean, we've talked
I
about it
think
time and
that's
time
what's
again. And
causing a lot
it's
of people
just,
to go to PC gaming of
yeah,
everyone's
especially
been
the
buying
price
all the
now.
graphics cards.
Yeah, it's like it's $400 for the disc one and it's $500 for the disc one. I want the disc one because uh a lot of games that I have that I just got, they have a PS5 upgrade for free. And the only way it works, you have to put in the disc
Mm,
into the system, and then the PlayStation 5 reads it, and then it gives you the new updated game on PS5.
yeah.
Without, if I buy the disc is one, I have to rebuy it, and I don't
Yeah,
want to buy
that like
the again.
that's the only shitty thing. And also like you don't necessarily see like if you wanted to burn a disc, like if I wanted to burn a disc on Eduardo, I'd have to get the separate CD reader that has the
Yeah,
USB that plugs in, and so you could still have one, just they're never built into it because it's just one more thing that can break.
yeah, it's just thing, but
So
it's like how many people still
anything
use that
like
though?
you want it to be as automated as possible. So like if I ever
Yeah,
feel the need to get one for whatever reason, because like everything I do can just be done through internet. Like if
yeah,
it's editing the podcast, save it to the computer, from the computer upload it to wherever. But if like I need, like if you're a producer or something, or like what you do with photos, to give somebody a physical thing, you can either do a thumb drive or a disc or both a
yeah.
lot
Like
of
I would do
times.
that, and it's just like, yeah. Recently, I just been using Dropbox, and then Dropbox, like they have like a private feature where you can just have it like a gallery categorized for them, and then you just give them the password, and then
Hmm.
the pass it's just for them, and they can pick and pull whatever ones they want, and then that's just theirs for 90 days or whatever, and it disappears. It's just like, and again, PlayStation's like $500. You could buy a really, really, really budget PC for 500
Hmm.
bucks. It's not top of the line, but it sure is hell already better than the next gen consoles.
That's true.
But
Or
it's just
even
like,
like spending $800, you can get something
yeah,
that's
I'm like,
already
because
better
I'm like,
than the PS5 or the series.
yeah, I'm like looking at the ballpark
Find me
from like
somewhere to put the
1,500 to
fucking thing.
2,000
Like,
is what
like,
I would is what
like
I
the biggest thing
want.
that I had was like I had to pull my desk out of my room and all that stuff, and like I quarantine a whole area in my living room because it's like the nice thing about consoles is they're compact. They can hide behind a TV, under a
Yeah,
TV,
you can
but
literally
it's
plug and play.
yeah. And they're like this thing, it's
Yeah,
like my PC is a mid tower and it's about the size of my monitor. So and I have a
yeah.
24-inch monitor, or not 24, maybe. I don't know how big my
Yeah,
monitor is.
most monitors for like gaming monitors are like 24, unless they're like the 16 by 9, then they're like 27 point something.
I would
But
show you,
I
but
was
I
on
have no way to.
turn your phone, put on the
It's my
the other
webcam.
camera. Oh,
Well, we're on Zoom right now.
oh, that's yeah. I mean, I was on Best Buy yesterday and today actually to see if they have like some random like nickel frit things
Hmm.
from just sometimes they have them. Like the PlayStation dropped a day later, they had an open box for a PlayStation 5. I really wanted to get it, but they were selling it for 475 or whatever it was. I forgot the thing. It was like, why would I pay that so close to new for that when I should just buy a new one? I just wait for the new one. But they have the Series S on sale on sale at Best Buy right now. It's the Series S with a controller and another controller, and you save $10. It's like almost 400, I think. It's like 350, 375. I really would have bought a Series X if they had it. And I'm like, I'm sorry, PlayStation, but I'm jumping ship because I want a next gen and you can't give it to me.
Yeah.
But they didn't have any. So, and then I'm just like, yeah, just keep saving for a PC.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that I got, like, one day I might get a PS5. If not, no biggie. I just want it, just honestly. Like, if they honestly would just sell the shell, I would just buy the shell because I like the look of it.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, we looked at one time and Ashley had D brand before we switch topics. D brand, I don't know how they did it, but they are making a shell of the PlayStation 5 in like different colors, I think. But the one they're advertising is an all black one. It looks amazing. They have skins for it already that look really cool, just like the normal D brand skins, but like they have just a black shell for it and it looks amazing. And I want the PlayStation 5 for that.
I saw the face plates that they make, and their face plates are their face.
That's what I mean. It's like the faceplate thing. And there was another company that started making them, and they were like doing pre-orders, but PlayStation like, if you do this, we will sue you. And it was just like, okay, never mind. But
yeah, I feel like D-Brand has a lot more sway with that kind of stuff. So they do like the military green, and then so there's just regular white, and then the black. Their skins are always like super just
so good,
clean. They're just clean, not reflective, matte black, and then they had that cool army one. Oh, PS3. Good God, no, thank you.
With the Spider-Man font.
But they were talking about doing the like a Spider-Man one, and I don't know if D-Brand was thinking about me or if it was just a concept skin, but like D-Brand just does a lot of crazy colors. Like they have like these ones, like the green, orange, and then the black. It's like a black camo with green, and then they'll also do this skin on the.
They have like controller. An Oreo one where it's like they have a black skin and the middle of it's still white. So you have like this Oreo shape one, which is cool. And they have like, we were talking to Marco and Ashley about it yesterday. Well, Marco and then Ashley might have been hearing over here, but they had the not Animal Crossing skin to like not get sued.
The funny, like the way they phrased it, they're like, we paid a lot of money for a lawyer to tell us that we can't call it Animal Crossing. So this is not an Animal Crossing skin, but it's not a lookalike.
Yeah, it's just like dumb shit like that. And Marquez did like a couple of clouds of them in the past. He just recently did one now, like the red and black one that looked really cool. They do have some other limited edition ones, like you said, like the jerry rig everything. They had like a transparent version of what it is.
I want one of those cases for my phone because they have like the ones that are like the hard case.
Yeah,
but or they have like the skin. Cool. That's the thing, and I would just get a clear case. Yeah, because I'm like, I like the look of those.
Yeah, I think that shit's cool. And I did the same thing. I had like a clear case and then I put a skin on it. It was just fine.
Yeah. You just have to get one like a Tech 21 where it doesn't yellow or anything.
Yeah, that's
have you seen the new thing on The Office? It was an outtake from the final episode back in 2013 or something. And it's Dwight deciding whether to take the red pill or the blue pill.
No. I didn't watch it when you told me about it. I was like, I want to watch it, but I want to have virgin eyes for this.
It's great. Let me click over here. So it's Hank's playing Morpheus, and Dwight is playing Dwight.
But the Matrix isn't real. It's a trilogy of flawless, life-changing films and an online game.
The first Matrix movie was a program written by my team to prepare people for the truth. But then the machines countered with their own program to make it seem as if a peace was achieved.
So, there is no peace?
There is not.
Oh, that is terrible news.
Dwight, we need your help. I would like you to join my underground army and help us wage war for the freedom of all humankind.
Just there.
Hank is good on his feet.
Right? I told you he'd nail it.
So they pretty much, it's just Jim and Pam trying to play a prank on Dwight with Hank explaining that he's actually in the simulation, and then the whole spiel of like, if you take the blue pill, you go back in the Matrix and you'll never know anything's different, or the red pill will show you the truth. And I'm like, man, I really wish. I mean, I can see why maybe they just couldn't get rights to it or anything.
They couldn't get rights, or it just didn't work. It just didn't flow. Like there's a couple of the proposal one. Like halfway through, Meredith has like a red face, like a sunburn and stuff like that. And there was this whole thing where she got sunburned doing something, but they cut all that out. But they couldn't like fix her face in time. It's like, or they forgot. And there was another one too where Ryan, when he got super famous, he crashed his car into Kevin's car and like totally just ignored that it happened and didn't want to pay Kevin to fix it. He was just like, every time they would bring it up, he was like, nope. I know what you're talking about, Kev. I didn't break it.
That's so really just like, funny.
It's just dumb shit like that. So
yeah, but like I get that it didn't work, but I wish you guys could have made it work.
Yeah, maybe if it's like on the box set or like before it left Netflix, it was on iTunes, and I texted everybody and I bought it for $30.
I should have, but I didn't want to spend the money. But I did read that it's going to Comcast streaming service Peacock.
Yes.
So it's going to the cock. However, season 1 and 2 is going to be free, but 3 is going to be behind a paywall. So what I think is, the cock is
I'm glad I paid
free to use
$30.
kind of thing, like
I want to
Hulu.
ride that cock.
Well, I think the cock is like Hulu, where it has like the just the commercial breaks and stuff like that, because that would make sense. It's their show. I believe they bought the rights to it or something.
Yeah. Do you get it for free?
Yeah, I have Xfinity, so so I assume that I won't have the paywall because I have Xfinity, and the cock is supposed to come with Xfinity.
Yeah.
So I assume that if it's free to view the first 2 seasons, and then season 3 and on is going to be behind a paywall. So it's I assume it's like, okay, you can pay X monthly for unlimited cock viewing or something like that. Nice. I want them to somehow work in Peacock fights. I just want them to get into like boxing or UFC, be like, watch Conor McGregor and Logan Paul on the cock, that kind of stuff. But fair. Yeah, that was just a little tidbit I heard of when they went to, they got off Netflix on January 31st was their last day on Netflix.
Damn. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't watched The Office in a long time.
I haven't either.
But I bought it and I just like,
But it's nice to just reflect on.
Yeah, I'm like, I stopped watching it after my surgery, and that was just because I was sedated and laying on the sofa like half asleep. Sedated.
That's true.
And then I started watching Hell's Kitchen. And now I'm here.
That's generally how it goes. All right. So now that we got all the niceties out of the way, today we're going to be talking about Dungeons and Dragons. Yes.
Dun, dun, dun. I don't have any like cool dungeon music.
I feel like a gate closing, but I don't want to imitate that noise because it would be embarrassing. And then like what kind of sad ass gate is that? And then
my best.
The Flash runs no more. And then I also have a Can You Guess It? I wish I could remember what it was. I have to pull it up. You would think I would do that.
I also have a
Can You Guess It is wide asses break glasses. So think about that. What is yours?
I'm trying to think of a creative name that doesn't get rid of.
And then we also have possible news regarding other podcasts that we might be on.
I can't.
So he's going to think of it, and we might get it.
Yeah, come back to me with my name.
So I never understood Flash Player really. Like I know it's an Adobe product, and I know that it like works on Internet Explorer, Firefox, Chrome. They made a plugin for Mac. I assume it's a way of like encoding something.
It just helps websites. Like, I'm trying to figure out. They're getting rid of Flash because it's outdated tech. Yep. It came out when when I was in high school. Like, remember Bush Shootout?
Yes.
Lots of games rely on that to work. Like, they used Flash, and it's like Bush Shootout was like the stupid cheesy 2D game that kind of ish worked, but not really. I mean, it worked at the time, but now it's just like we have newer things that work. We have newer websites. We don't want to continue to like cripple ourselves by having this old website work on all our new expensive computers with something that's like 15-year-old just technologies. So they officially killed it yesterday, or I guess New Year's Day, whenever the first was. And it was just like, yeah, so long, bitch.
Yeah, it's one of those where it's like it was taken away, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to watch TV or like videos or play video games on your computer or anything. Like if you use like you're saying, like what was that old website? There was a website that game was on. The Bush Shootout was on. I can't remember. It was like freecomputergames.com or something.
Yeah,
they had like a bunch of like cheesy games like Like it was just like a bunch of indie games that were like the track one where you'd hit Q, what was it, like QW whatever, where like you would hit two keys to make one leg go forward and then two keys to make the other one.
That was like my first intro into like computer gaming. But yeah,
it was like QWOP because it was quad.
There you go. Yeah. So it's like, it's cool. Lots of websites and everything at the time used it because it was like, oh my God, this is amazing that you could make this thing and you could build everything off of it and this and that. And now it's just like, it's 2020. Why are we still using this software to build this as the main backbone of how things work? It can only limit itself to so far. It's literally like everything is just, why are we doing this?
So they announced it in July of 2017.
Yes.
And it essentially they stopped updating it and they were just pushing out patches for it.
Yeah.
And then so December 31st, the patches disappeared to download on January 2nd, and it has a built-in time bomb that will display a static icon on January 12th of 2021. So if you still haven't like uninstalled it, mainly because nothing even uses it anymore, so it's really just a
like
useless
plugin. It doesn't need to be up and
yeah. So essentially, it uses also its own script. So I assume it's just people found a better way. Like people probably just got more efficient in Java, and they're like, okay, well we don't want to write in this sans script anymore. We use Java.
Yeah, Apple probably like officially killed it when they didn't, because Apple doesn't run Flash. Like at the time, it was stupid because it's like, I need this to work Flash because this is the website I'm using. This is what we're using to do stuff, and I can't use it because Flash is no longer a thing. So
yeah, so it's like, why would you have everybody install this free extra plugin when they could just run Java and everything runs Java? Because this thing supports all the usual like MP3, JPEG, GIFs, HTTP. I don't know what XML is. So it's some kind of data format, whatever XML is.
It's just a data
so yeah, it's they announced it forever ago, and they have a self-destruct thing to where it's just gonna. Then if you launch something that has JavaScript, it's just gonna say, "Hey, JavaScript doesn't work anymore."
Sorry, but you should also change your AOL account.
Ooh, what is so? Can you guess one very famous recent game? Recent as in the past decade. That was made with and for Flash.
Halo 3.
No, it's a mobile game. Why would you think Halo 3 is made with Flash? It's a console.
I don't know. Halo 3, the servers went down not too long ago, so there's no more online multiplayer Halo 3.
Oh, really? That's sad. Yeah. I wonder why. But no, it's a mobile game.
It's old as fuck. The game's fine, but you just can't play online. Like,
that doesn't make any sense because they sell the Master Chief Collection for PC.
Yeah, I think they redid it for like stuff like that, but like having all those servers and stuff, it's just after a while you just get rid of it because no one plays the game anymore, and it costs money to keep the servers up.
But and people just bought the Master Chief Collection. What if I want to play online in the Master Chief Collection?
Then tough shit, Matt.
Well, good thing I didn't buy it. Anyway, mobile game. Decade, most notable that you can think of. It was a cultural phenomenon that's surprisingly still going. They actually also made a movie about it.
Angry Birds.
Yes.
You gave it with that. I was like,
congratulations.
I thought of I thought of what was that animal or that farming game that came out in like 2009?
Farmville.
Yeah, it was. I thought
that is also one of them. Yay!
2 for 2. Yeah.
And Adventure
it has to be animal. Oh, okay. Yeah,
whatever.
It has to be one of those because
no idea what Adventure Quest.
Like those are like the only big ones that came out.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the hell, but so we wanted to spend the majority of our episode discussing what Dungeons and Dragons really is. Have you done a lot of research into Dungeons and Dragons?
Before this whole thing, no. I consider myself a nerd, but my nerdiness is not next level because I never played Dungeons and Dragons before, if That makes sense.
Are
Like,
you afraid to? Was it because you were afraid to dip your toe in?
no, it's I never played it because I didn't understand the concept. Like when I would see it, I would see other people like make fun of it on TV shows. So you have that like negative stigma already about it because like that kind of stuff. Um, but also I don't like playing role playing type games, and I don't like a lot of fantasy like elves and trolls and shit like that until like I started watching Game of Thrones. I mean, there's not elves and trolls in that, but it's like
Interesting.
more
So, do you think
mystical.
that you've actually liked it? You just had an ill-conceived notion because of all like the jokes about D&D and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
My biggest thing is, I just D&D needs. It's a very interesting nerd game because unlike World of Warcraft you play alone in your basement.
Yeah.
Or like video games, you play alone in your basement. So I've always been a video game nerd because it's the easiest, most readily accessible. You don't have to get friends together and all that stuff. But D&D is very interesting where I'd never played it before. And you have to have like, you could just have like two people, but it's not as fun to play with like somebody, a dungeon
people.
master, and then two players. You need to have like at least 4 players and the dungeon master. Some people play with like huge groups, and that's
I think the most I would feel comfortable playing. I've never played it, but I think 5 would be like the max, just because everyone has to roll, and that's what would take so long. That's why I don't like bowling, is because it's like you have more. You need like at least 4 people. More than that is just like, why isn't it my turn yet?
See, the thing is, you don't drink enough when you bowl.
That's true. I don't.
Last time I went to a bowl, it was called a bowl for the cure, and it was something for breast cancer. And I would just get like a pitcher of beer, and then there would be like 4 people there because you would sign up to go in groups, and just me and some friends would go, and you'd sign up, and I'd get a pitcher of beer, and I would drink like half the pitcher, and everyone else would have like half. They're like, "Oh, I'm gonna be responsible," and I'm like, "Whoa, strike."
I wonder if bowling alleys are going to be a thing after COVID, because you're literally putting your fingers in a dark hole where other people put their fingers in. They don't clean bowling balls that often, especially like inside the bowling ball. And then
Why don't
after
you just use hand sanitizer,
you bowl, and then you don't hand sanitizer, like, and then eat chicken wings, because you're just like,
why not?
Put your hands in the dirtiest holes, pull them out, eat chicken wings, chug beer, and it's just
but like my is like,
it's a breeding ground of COVID.
Yeah, but like my thing is I would rather, like, I don't mind bowling as long as it's like,
I just don't like
I don't
bowling,
go
period.
with like, if we went with our family, I wouldn't like it because
maybe that's why I don't like going, is because we did it so much with the family and it just became a
like, that's the
nuisance.
like bowling is one of those where you have to go with friends, or like if me and you went and we went like with, I don't know, like our other brothers,
we need to go
like if we went with all of our siblings,
Herreras,
like
in Ogden.
Even like if we just went with our siblings, it would be a blast. We'd have a great time. But it's like if you throw in like our parents or aunts and uncles, then it's like it kind of like bogs you down, kind of like you can't joke about the kind of stuff you joke about, like I'm going through right now, where I made an off-color joke and now nobody talks to me in the family because they're upset.
Yeah,
and it's like, I don't really like
you
like
shot yourself with that one.
I don't. I stand by the joke. Stand by it. I don't really like that kind of hanging out kind of things, unless like if it's like a family get like a dinner or something, like we used to have pre-COVID. Then yeah, I'll go to those. I just won't make those jokes. But if I'm out having fun, then it's like, oh no, you said something that I thought was offensive, so now the whole mood's ruined. Yeah, and it's like when I do that kind of stuff, like if I go out to have a drink and like do anything, I don't want to have to be like, ooh, I can't say that.
That's fair.
So it's like, I feel like bowling would be, but I see your point of like, I think bowling's going to be done most likely. I think movie theaters are already dying. And then like I think very selective things are going to be over with, but not like everything you would think. Like malls aren't going anywhere. I don't believe
malls are going to die
because I don't believe malls will die purely because people need a place to go.
Yeah.
It's like people like to go places. If like my favorite thing to do pre-COVID was mall walk, like old people do, because it's like I see why old people do it. It gets you out of the house.
I enjoy people watching. You get a pretzel.
You get to look at things.
Food.
Exactly. Like if you're hungry, like I live next to Fashion Place. I live next to Fashion. So like there's like Olive Garden, Cheesecake Factory.
You live next to like the nice mall in Utah.
I know it's great.
That's true.
So I mean, before pre-COVID, like I haven't been there since I went there once since COVID, and that was to get an iPhone SE from Coda's 6. And that was the only time I've been there, and that's just because it's like I don't want to go there. I would rather take a walk outside than walk inside wearing a mask. Not because I hate masks, but okay, if I'm going there to walk, I'd rather just go on a walk around the neighborhood with a mask or without a mask on than hang out indoors with a mask.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't go really in. I mean, you're not supposed to really go anywhere, but just like, I mean, you kind of summed it up. I don't like going in places where I would normally get something to eat or drink. Like at the mall, most of the time you like grab something to eat, you eat in the food court, or you grab a pretzel, and like the little pretzel bites, they're designed so you can eat them while you're walking and going into stores. But you can't do that with a mask on. Or like if I want to get an orange Julius or some kind of other random ass drink in the mall, you can't like walk around and drink with it. You have to be like in these designated areas right now. So it's just like, I don't want to put the straw underneath my mask and just have it sit there like this, like some stupid. I'll stay home and drink without a mask.
That's like, I never understand why people get so like butthurt of like, you've probably seen the videos of people getting kicked off of planes for refusing to wear a mask. And like the most notable one was like this 2-year-old didn't want to wear a mask, and the company was like,
the 2-year-old one. I don't understand. I still am against it. I'm like, it's their rules if they want to do it like that. But at the same time, it's like the airlines, I haven't seen anything recently, but airlines you don't need to take a COVID test. Like they're not requiring you to take a COVID test if you're traveling within the country. If you're going to like different countries, they're either on lockdown or you need to like test before you leave and then pass and then go and then test and then isolate. And then you can free wander about and stuff like that. But it's just like, well, if someone's sick and they're on like just some Spirit airline flight, he's going to get people sick anyways, even if he has a mask on. So it's one of those where I don't know.
I'm on the airline side, and I mean, I have young kids. I have 4 and a 2-year-old. So, I mean, I totally understand that it's frustrating, but at the same time, why wouldn't you ask and make sure? Yeah. And then when you talk to the person at the front desk, say, hey, so I called your corporate, spoke to this person, spoke to this supervisor, and they said I could do this. And then I personally, if I talked to them and said, hey, so what is this possible? Is this allowed? Then if the corporate wouldn't say no or yes, and then they would say no, but just an off chance they do, I would say, is there any way you can send me an email or something so I don't run into issues on my fly day? And then like, because the main thing is like everyone's getting upset because they're like, well, it's a 2-year-old. And it's like, well, yeah, but guess what? This is not your plane.
Yeah,
you're not flying.
It's like
private.
You should know. That's my thing. It's like you should know. I'm like, I don't fly with my kids because of their kids. When we flew to Florida, it was awful because you can only have 3 people in a seat. Like they don't change. So it's like Jessica had to watch the kids there, and then we would swap on back and stuff like that. But it was just like, okay, but kids on a plane just suck ass to begin with. They cry, they jump around, they look behind them, they pick their nose while they're looking at you, they just kick seats, they just do dumb shit. And it's like, you can't expect a child to wear a mask on if you have a difficult time telling adults to do it. Adults can actually comprehend what you're saying. A child can't. They're just like, no.
Yeah. And that's the frustrating part of, that's like, I was totally on the airline side of like, as a parent, I understand, but also you shouldn't be traveling.
Yeah,
because
like you should be traveling period right now.
What drives me crazy is people are like the Nazis about it, of like, everybody should wear a mask, nobody should go anywhere, but they go places. And they're
Yeah.
like people are like,
That's what sucks.
People are like, don't take vacations, but then they'll vacation to like Zion, and
Yeah.
they're like, well, yeah, but Zion National Park isn't next to people, and I'm like, that's not the point. Did you have to go to the gas stations? Did you have to
Yeah.
go to stores to get?
Yeah, it was just like there's nobody, but there is. I mean, national parks is actually what's keeping them funded right now. This is the best decade of their lives right now, is because everyone's going to national parks. But it's like you're still outside at national parks. You need to be wearing a mask because most national parks have like a trail, like
Yeah.
they just
Like you're like
either
you're,
like a one
if
or
you're-
two way.
yeah. If you're
But it's just like-
crossing, like my thing is if I'm walking in direct paths with people, I put a mask on. But like if we're walking in a straight file line, which is a really weird thing to do at a national park, so that's why you should just wear the damn mask.
Yeah,
Is like, because also it's like it's people don't understand the concept of private and public property.
yeah,
Like if you're at a national park, it's not public property. You want to know how you can tell it's not public property? You're either buying something there or you pay to get in there. Just because it's public land doesn't mean you can do whatever you want. You can't like scratch your name on a rock. That's not legal. It's because it's not just like a fucking rock you found on the road. But that's that thing. I don't even know how we got there from Dungeons and Dragons.
I don't know. But anyways, new thing, Dungeons and Dragons.
So my biggest thing with it is I've just never found like enough, like 4 or 5 friends, like we were talking about, like having 4 friends and the DM, or 3 other friends in the DM, so like 5 total people. I've never found 5 total people that would be interested in Dungeons and Dragons to not waste, but put time into learning how to do it.
Yeah, how to play this.
Keeping up and then constantly doing it. Because this is one of those where everybody has to buy in or it doesn't work. If not everyone buys in, then it's like,
everyone
okay,
needs
well,
to
what are we
be-
doing here?
Yeah,
Because if you're not
true.
there one week, then it's you're a non-playable character, and the DM would roll for you. So like your character's still there, but you're not there.
You're fictitiously there, but
Exactly.
your proxy is just like, okay, well, we killed you off because you're not here. So,
and that's what if you just like keep not showing, they would just kill you off. But so like I've just never done it. I can't say I've ever been interested in it, but that just might be one hand goes with the other. If you don't have enough people to try it, then you wouldn't be interested in it.
and I'm just like,
It's probably
that's
also why I
kinda
like the
what
gym
I'm
so
into.
much, because it's like I don't have to rely on somebody else to go. I can just go do my own thing.
I do my
That's
my own leisure and do what I want, and I leave. I was honestly surprised when Marco and everyone played. I wasn't surprised when Chris played. Chris seems like a person that would play that. That's not a derogatory thing.
It can't be because we're about to play.
It seems like, I mean, it's something that is like up Chris's alley. I mean, I've known him my whole life. It's just like that just is stuff that he likes. Like he's always expressed interest in like that kind of things. But like, yeah, it was just with Marco, I wasn't expecting.
I would say that is
But at
very
the same-
surprising. Of the 2 of them, I would not have expected Marco to have like eight pairs of 5-piece dice.
Yeah, so I was just like, and I feel like Stranger Things did a really big resurgence in it because they did a really good job bringing in like the 80s vibe into like actually making you feel like you were in the 80s and stuff like that, all the references. But also like when it came out, a lot of celebrities came out of the woodwork and they're just like, we play Dungeons too. And then all of a sudden you see Terry Crews playing and he shows off his ginormous set. And what's his name? Sofia Vergara's husband. What's his name?
I don't fucking know what Sylvia Ferrer's husband's
anyways,
name is.
he plays Deadshot in like the DC universe, or he was going to play, but then they changed everything. But he's a big Dungeons dork. And the guy that plays Matthew Lillard, the guy that plays Shaggy in Scooby-Doo, the live action ones, and all the other stuff, he has like a Dungeons and Dragons like business where he works with the people that made Dungeons and Dragons or some shit like that. But he has like this big $500 box set of like how to play Dungeons and stuff like that. And it comes with all these dice and characters and profile things. So it's like if you have new people, it's easy for them to start. It has all the paperwork and all just.
Yeah, that's my is like
It's
I'm
extravagant
sure like
for $500.
I'm sure I'll love it. because I'm into those kinds of like it's hard to say that you wouldn't like Dungeons and Dragons, because if you like video games or Game of Thrones or like those sci-fi, if you like Lord of the Rings, you like Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's all about finding like, because the nice thing about that I've learned so far about Dungeons and Dragons is it's like a vast universe of, you could literally do Star Wars.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
It's really just fantasy, but like it's not like you don't get to dictate what you do. It's up to like this die, the D20, to decide like, okay, well, I want to attack this person. Okay, well, roll this to see if you hit, and then roll your damage. So it's like you're essentially doing improv on the fly, but you don't get to decide what happens. You get to roll to see what happens. And then, so you're essentially doing like improv of yes and, which I'm going to really enjoy for comedy purposes, of working on my improv of yes and. Okay, well, I want to do this. Didn't work. What can I pivot to? How can I make this funny? Kind of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I honestly didn't know what to think when they first asked me. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. I mean, you guys need somebody. It's something
you guys need somebody. I'm somebody.
I enjoy hanging out with you guys. It's like a give and take, I feel like, because when we started, we only played COD, and I felt like we made them play COD with us, if that makes sense. So it's like, I want to do things they want to do too, because it's like, you guys can still be friends and do shit together if you guys try different things and stuff like that.
And I think that's like, also like a nice, and like, not like we're doing them a favor.
Yeah, no,
but like saying like hey, me and you have always been into shooting games and all that, but maybe that's not exactly what they like. But we know, both of us know that they, Marco, Ashley, and Chris really enjoyed this one thing, and the fact that they asked us to be a part of it is like, okay, yeah, I'll definitely try.
Yeah, I'm like, I'll do it at least once.
Like we just immediately said yes and bought dice.
Yeah, that's exactly how it went down.
So I'm definitely excited, but so in 2017, that's the most players in history that they've been able to calculate, however the fuck they even calculate that, so far, and it was 12 to 15 million in North America alone.
Oh my gosh.
So I assume Dungeons and Dragons in the UK is just Harry Potter. It's just one big Harry Potter quest.
The main thing is, because it's like
I don't think there's necessarily like a main. I think from everything I've read so far is there's monsters. So you can have like preset quests of like, for this you're gonna need a goblin, a human, a dwarf, and a clerk.
Yeah.
Or a cleric. And I assume that like they do that, and then like, okay, pick a monster that's a level whatever. And then as you progress, then you upgrade your character for character sheets. But overall, the DM is essentially a writer director of like, they get to roll for NPCs and monsters. So like if you're fighting a dragon, you would roll to hit the dragon, and then the DM would say, okay, I want this dragon to attack this person, and then they would roll to see if the dragon hits on their attack. So I don't think there's like, it evolved to get more creatures and everything like that, and like different worlds. So because I know there's different worlds that and I'm saying I don't know anything about, I never said I don't know anything about D&D. I said I never played it. Because I listened to that podcast I told you about, the Not Another D&D podcast. It's a comedy podcast. So I really like it because they're not the super strict, like we've joked about, of like, you shot your arrow and you missed, so you have to roll a D20 and get higher than a 15, or otherwise it's lost forever. Like they do more of like, if you shoot it off a ship, it's in the water, man.
It's going in the water. You're going to have to get another
one. If not, like otherwise, it's like, you hit, and then like if you go and attack them, they'll automatically give you your whatever back.
I think that's another thing too that I thought it was going to be kind of dumb, because it's just like, okay, well, if I have to, it's just like, I'm just say it. I'm afraid it was going to be like The Sims, where it's like, I have my fictitious me that I have to move and do things in the fictitious life that I could be doing in real life. It's like, oh, okay, well, my fictitious character is a level 47 wizard. He can kill you one hit. and he works out for 50 hours a day. And it's like, okay, well, I should probably be working out myself for 50 hours a day because I can get in shape and I can also be a level 50 and I can kick your ass in one hit. It's just that concept of just like, you know what I'm saying? Where it's just the same reason why I don't play sports games. It's just like I'd rather just shoot basketball.
It's all like a perspective thing for me because I look at it as the same of like COD. When we play COD, you have a gun. It's a shitty gun at a level 1. Yeah. But when you upgrade it to max level 30, 40, whatever, you get all the attachments, all this stuff. So I look at it like I'm like, oh, that's just like that. But you have to put the time in to do the progression kind of thing. Like, but to be fair, I also used to play Madden and 2K. I just stopped playing because if you play it on computer, there's a lot of hackers, and it's supposed to be super shitty.
Yeah, that's
so true. But did you know that they are coming out with a new Dungeons and Dragons movie?
Really?
So it's
not
the
not
plot
the one that I showed you the other day from
the
like
plot
2000.
the plot is undisclosed, but they do have one person. Well, I should say one person rumored. See if I can pull up the IMDb, unless it's.
They should have the Game of Thrones cast be in the Dungeons and Dragons cast.
So they have all of the like the bigwigs. So whoever Jonathan Goldstein is, I'll click on him. But Chris Pine is rumored to be the star. So,
That's
but
cool.
then again, they've never showed.
I mean,
they don't know the plot yet, but they're. But I would assume. I would assume you would cast Chris Pine in a medium budget movie to be the main character in a medium budget. I have a hard time believing you'd cast Chris Pine for him to play a fucking tree.
Yeah, I mean, like, because he's not an A-list actor, but I really liked him in the Star Trek trilogies.
Yeah. So, but Jonathan Goldstein, one of the directors, so he did Horrible Bosses, the first Horrible Bosses, Game Night, or he was a writer on the first Horrible Bosses. He was a director in Game Night, if you ever watched that with Jason Bateman. That's where they were supposed to do some kind of game night, and then it turns out that
it turned to be like a real thing or something.
Yeah, it turned out to be an actual robbery instead of a role-playing dinner. Yeah. It was actually pretty funny. Yeah, it had some moments, I should say. And then he was a writer in Spider-Man: Homecoming, and then also John Francis Daley, Daley, whatever that is. So he was also a writer in Spider-Man, and looks like he's just starred in a few things. So the main director is probably going to be that other guy. So it definitely strikes as a very low budget movie, but
yeah,
like anything beats that 2000s one that was actually a British film. I actually have a clip of the trailer pulled up so we could play a couple minutes or a couple seconds of that. I get too excited to play the actual thing that I always just go over to the thing without hitting share. So it plays really loud in my ears, and I'm like, oh god. Don't play it.
Trust me.
It has Marlon Wayans in it for one, which is hilarious. And the graphics are absolutely terrible. There's a homie with blue lips for some reason.
Frostbite.
You win the prize.
It has a Princess Bride vibe. So just think of Princess Bride, but not trying to be a joking movie, being 100% serious.
Well, I think this one was supposed to be like, I mean, it looked cheesy, but I think it was going for like an action.
Yeah, like that's what I mean. Like the Princess Bride was trying to be like a dramedy in the loosest sense of the word drama. Like they knew they were being silly when it was like that one guy saying "as you wish" as he's falling down the hill. He's like "as you wish," or like in My Name's Indigo Montoya. Prepare to die. That kind of stuff. So like to me that is like they weren't trying to be 100% serious. This is no comedy, all seriousness. It makes zero sense. Graphics are bad. Acting's even worse.
At the time it was cool.
I don't think at the time.
I mean, I brought it up to you the other day because I was like, we watched this movie. I remember because of the Wayne stupid hat. It's like they look like ears or whatever it is, and it's just like I remember that. But we watched it in the Ogden Mall Theater with Grandpa. Was it a Cinemark? Is it still Cinemark? Anyways,
I don't think
it was
that's
a
still
Cinemark
open.
or whatever it is. It was just like that's what that movie was. I remember it was stupid, and I never watched it because it was stupid. We were there watching, like we were physically in the seats, but I'm like, this is stupid. I don't understand what's happening.
Yeah,
So,
that's the
yeah. It's
so.
cool.
I mean, I hope the new movie's better than that. Anything's better than that. And then I'm super. I mean, we can't talk about our characters yet because we still haven't played. Our DM told us not to talk about our characters to each other, so we still don't know who we
I want to know what the
are or
repercussions
anything.
are. I keep doing and asking and kind of probing, but she's like, "You don't want to fucking know." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, so we don't know anything about the campaign yet, as it should be before you start, because it would kind of ruin it if you're like, okay, this is the plot line I'm thinking, because essentially it's a movie, but you're the actor in the movie in a fictitious in a fantasy.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense.
You're a
wanna ruin
fictitious
everything,
actor in a fantasy movie, but we're all set. Everyone has everything turned in, so we're gonna play it tonight, and then we'll probably not recap what's going on, but then next week we can talk about like what our characters are and how we felt our first D&D game went. So that'll definitely be very exciting. And before we get to the very, very fun news that we're going to spring on you guys that me and Anthony just barely even thought about, let's get to the can you guess it? So let's go with have you thought of your name first?
No, you do yours.
Okay, so wide asses break glasses. He's thinking. He's breathing. He's frowning. Oh God, he's crying. Oh God.
He's so passionate.
Now he's eating. Where did he get a beef Wellington from?
Mind your business. Chef Ramsay talks about
How is he talking and eating at the same time?
Ventriloquist. I can't say it. I wrote down say ventriloquist. Is it too on the nose by someone putting glasses in their pants and breaking them?
That's not it at all.
Someone breaking something really expensive by sitting on them.
No. It is an anecdotal story, but if you get essentially what happened, I'll give it to you.
Elon Musk's rocket ship did a flip and blew up on landing.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that'd be awful. There's people on that ship, Tony.
not like people. It was like the autonomous robot. It was just a robot that died. Not Elon Musk. He's not. He wasn't on it. I don't know. You stumped me.
So it's anecdotal because it happened to me. But wide glasses break asses because my big ass broke a glass. That's why I said it's anecdotal.
I know.
One off. Me. About me. So I was delivering to the salon on my route, and little did I know that I saw the thing. Little did I know my ass is so fat with a PH. My ass is so fat that I was walking in the door because I had like my little cart full of hair products or whatever the shit's in them. I'm sitting there walking through the door, and what do you know? I'm like, when you have a hand truck or you're pulling something in a door and you're trying to hold the door open, you like twist your body and keep pulling it so that way you can close the door and it's not going to bang on the door. I was doing that, but for whatever reason this day I had my back turned towards the products. You know how salons have like the rack of products that's like the shampoo, gel, all that kind of hairstylist stuff. And I always turn with my back towards the door, so I don't have to hold it. I can just wheel the cart in and then keep walking from there. And for whatever reason, this time I decided to go the other way, where my ass was towards all the shampoos and everything. And I didn't even feel anything bump my butt. However, when I honestly didn't feel anything. So I was like just turning, pulling it in as usual. And I heard like something go like, when you hear something get knocked off a shelf, it's like I heard that and I was like, what the fuck was that? And I looked down and my thick rump must have somehow knocked. But the crazy thing is I wasn't wearing a coat, just my uniform, and it was the perfect height for my waist. And I was like, so I'm bringing you new stuff, but I think I accidentally broke your old stuff.
Sorry, I broke your stuff. I need you to sign here for the new
Like
stuff.
a couple fell off, but only one broke. And I was like, I'm really sorry. I'll pay for it if you want. I was like, I must have just bumped it. I didn't even notice. And they're really nice about it. But I felt really bad because I was like, I turned and it must have, that bottle must have not seen.
Was it good stuff?
It was like that tea tree, like that Paul Mitchell tea tree stuff. So it's like, it's not like it's that expensive, but it's still like $15.
It's like, because I had some when I bought shampoo that wasn't like a 3 or 2-in-1 now that I have, but it was like, about $15-$20 for the Billy Jealousy.
So like one. I just said, I was like, I'll pay because I obviously broke with my huge ass by doing something stupid. That's one of those things where you're like, I'm not this dumb, but I did something dumb.
I'm not dumb, I'm smart. But
that's that's what you want to say. You're like, I don't know why I did it. I just like, not even like a lapse in judgment, because you wouldn't expect like your ass to be so big that you would accidentally bump into something. It's like in the shows when like a really fat person like turns in a store and they like knock everything over. It seems like something that would happen in
diminished glutes.
Yeah, it seems like something that would happen in Norbit or like what's that show? Shallow Hal with Jack Black, where he thought that fat chick was really thin. Seems like that, where like she sits in the
chair.
She sits in the booth. And then like the booth breaks and he's like, what the hell is that booth made of? And the guy's like, reinforced steel. That's like
dumb shit like that.
That's what it struck to me. And I was like, my God, am I that wide? If that bottle must have seen a planet coming towards it.
Did they say anything when you did it?
They were just like,
or did no one even notice?
Like no one even noticed because there was only like 3 stylists in the store. Like it didn't even make that loud of a noise. It's just like when you're right next to it, you hear it. Like, and the floors aren't carpet; they were like a refined cement. So, but it's a salon of really nice ladies, so they were really nice about it. I just walked over to one and I was like, "So, I messed up. I'll buy it because I broke it." But like the other ones just fell and they didn't like fall off and break. Like they fell, but this one must have like.
To be fair, the way those things are, they're like a platform that is easily knockdownable.
Yeah.
So
I'm like they probably get it a lot, but it's still, I was like, only the tip broke. So it's not like the whole bottle broke. It's like they had like a replacement screw-on thing you can easily just, or a stylist could, because you know how they do the shampoos there.
Yeah, they do like just swap it out.
So they could just like, once that's over, take the lid off.
I assumed it was like it fell and like the neck piece broke. So
yeah, you know how funny it would be if I knocked over the whole thing. I had to tell my boss and be like, that's a company write-off. Sorry guys.
I just broke $500 worth of Paul Mitchell tea tree. So if you guys need any shampoo, please come down and grab a bottle or 2.
Please, for the love of God, I have so much in my house.
That's what I did with my stimulus. I bought out the Great Clips' tea tree Paul Mitchell shampoo.
Do you know Walmart actually sells Paul Mitchell tea tree conditioner? It's so amazing. Mm-hmm. I put it on my head, even though I don't have hair, and my skull goes all tingly. It feels
I just like the tea tree because it makes your head tingle.
And it makes it even more when you don't have hair. Yeah. It's like how I imagine chewing 5 gum feels.
Like, that's exactly what they did. They're just like, oh, I'm chewing 5 gum.
I feel like I'm in those commercials when I do it, those 5 commercials of like the people that are like, that one, whatever happened to those random ass commercials? You never see a 5 commercial.
They
like,
probably got in trouble because it's like, this isn't what your gum feels like. That guy was I got a free case of floating them up.
I got a free case of Red Bull, like a free 4-pack of Red Bull there was a class action lawsuit because Red Bull used to say, or they used to highlight Red Bull gives you wings, which they still do. So I guess they just
settled their thing.
Well, I assume they settled it, and the lawsuit settlement was they could still say it. because that was one thing about it. And I thought it was a joke. So I was like, oh, that's hilarious. To join this class action lawsuit, all you have to do is just give your name and address. And I mean, this was back in 2010 or something.
This was like forever ago.
Shit.
I remember that happened.
And the funny thing is I did it, and it was like in 2010. And then like 2 years later, I get a random 4 case of Red Bull delivered. And mom was like, hey, Matt, why do you have this? And I was like, I don't know. And it came with a letter. And it said, class action lawsuit settled. Here's your 4-pack of Red Bull. And I was like, no.
Well, I guess you guys use them for your Red Bull and vodka cranberry drinks. So congratulations.
I know. I actually should have got Red Bull today because I have vodka. Because I want to drink I want to drink while we play. I mean, I still have vodka. I guess I can just go buy.
Maybe I can go buy some too. I don't know. You guys are talking about like that hard lemonade. And that
maybe I'll go do that. But I have vodka. I don't know. I might just make a vodka soda. I don't know.
Like we have Coke here. I might just have Coke and Crown or Coke and Kraken.
I'm like, I just need to be nice and loose, but not too loose to where I'll say some outlandish stuff. I need to. This is one of those situations where I need to rail it back. Like I sent a TikTok. I got in trouble. The TikTok was funny. I stand by the TikTok. Doesn't matter if it's D&D related or not. That was a funny TikTok. Anyway, what's the name of yours?
The name of mine is This Is My Turf. I will protect it.
A dog bit somebody in the dick that was breaking into a home.
No.
Does it have to do with the dog?
No.
Have to do with football?
No.
Basketball?
No.
Fighting?
No.
Sports?
No.
Why'd you have to think so hard about it?
Because I was going to say it kind of involves it, but when I tell you, if I tell you it kind of involves it, you'll continue going down the sports route, but it does incorporate some fighting, but it's not like...
Oh, it's not like an actual fight. It's just like a street fight or something?
Kind of.
Can I get a hint?
New York City.
Does it have to do with that lame revolt of overweight Americans that are saying we might have to overthrow the government?
I would love to see that.
So, like, I always see things on TikTok of these people being like, People's Party, the government is going to elect Joe Biden and we're going to have a civil war. And I commented on one of the videos because they did a voiceover, like the ones I send you of like the cheesy things where it's like,
the shitty blur photos
so great
with the shitty
shitty audio of the shitty DJ, and like it has like people like everyday Americans, and I put them like, what you guys need to be battling is, I was like something to the effect of like, what you guys need to be battling is diabetes. Everyone was so mad. Anyway, yeah, fuck those guys. Let's see. I don't know. I really thought it would be like a dog biting somebody in the penis.
It is an animal. It's just a much smaller. There's a pissed off squirrel in New York that's been attacking people in the Queens neighborhood at the Rego Park. Like you walk into the little area, it's a park. It's a little area, but they walk in and they go to the certain area, and there's reports of this squirrel coming and like attacking them, and it's just like, he's either jumping from the trees and jumping to get you, or he's like coming at your feet.
That is so like, great.
They're freaking out because it's like, oh my God, what the hell is that? And you're like startled for a sec, or you fall over because it scared you. And it's just like, oh shit. And you can't like kick it because then you're the person that like straight up Michael Vick kicks the damn squirrel and kills it.
Also, I don't think it's that easy to kick a squirrel.
I don't think so either. They're really quick.
Yeah.
I mean, they're quick from afar when I'm like, look, kid, a squirrel. And the guy's like, oh, fuck, they caught me. And then he just crawls up a tree and I've never seen him again. I'm like, that's a quick bitch.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's
it's
true.
Just like, I'm like, I was hoping it would be like New York City squirrel versus pizza rat. I want to see who would fight to win.
I forgot
Fight for the
about
pizza.
Pizza Rat.
Fight for the fight for the pizza, and whoever
That
wins
rat
gets
was
a
fucking
cigarette.
big too.
Mhm.
He's going back to hell where he came from with that slice of pizza.
I just saw that. And I'm like, yep. Never. I've only been to New York once, and it was the airport. But I'm pretty sure that sums up New York.
I've never been either. But I'm like, anytime I think of, now I'm gonna think of Park Squirrel and Pizza Rat.
Yeah, I'm just like, is this that park where this pissed off squirrel is at? I don't want to.
Okay.
I don't want to get attacked. I'm a tourist.
Did you hear the reports about people being upset over New Year's Eve because on the news and everything they were showing scenes of like a packed or crowded Times Square, but people were posting on like TikTok and all over other social medias that they're showing that on the news. However, the streets are empty. So
I didn't.
I guess I could use that as my thing, but well, next week. Well, I can't use it.
No, I was pissed off
Anyway,
though because
the whole thing is they said that they were going to use footage from last year because can you imagine a more 2020 thing than seeing fireworks going off on an empty street? I'm like, yeah, they even said, hey, so we're going to use footage from like, you know how they did the I think it was like the NFL season opener. They did like a pre-recorded concert of Kane Brown, and they just showed it during the game because obviously you can't have a concert at the football game because people aren't supposed to be that close to each other. But they wanted a lot of people there, so they did it in front of Cowboys Stadium, pre-recorded, and they just showed it on TV. So like the game was in like 2 p.m, but it was dark in the concert, and everyone was like, "What the hell?" And they're like, yeah, they said that they pre-recorded this. Why are you getting upset? Would you rather see an empty street? I'm like, can you imagine something more demoralizing than like Happy New Year, dead silence, just a
There's
cop
just, like,
on every corner
there.
reminding people to go home because they're in New York. Ugh. Can you imagine living in New York or California right now?
That sucks for them. I was upset though because at 8:42, all of our stupid ass neighbors set off their fireworks. I'm like, you dumbass! It's not even close to New Year.
That's what happened here. Of like, all the neighbors in the surrounding complexes like started lighting, and I'm like,
it needs to go off at midnight.
Also,
dumbass.
I was like, dude, it's 9.
Also, why is there so many
I'm
people
trying to
here?
go to bed. I got to go to the gym in the morning.
Yeah, I'm like, there's so many people just like in my neighborhood. I haven't seen this many people just like wandering around, and they were out until like 2 a.m. I'm just like, you idiots hanging out are the reason why I can't go out and do anything.
That's true.
I hate you guys.
I mean, it's definitely going to be weird when enough people take the vaccine that like you can go to this like everyone's like, okay, yeah, you really don't need masks anymore. I mean, granted, that's not going to happen probably till the end of summer this year, if then.
I mean,
but it's definitely going to be weird being
spring,
like going somewhere not wearing a mask. That's going to be
so accustomed to it.
Like, that's going to be the weird. I actually like it in the wintertime because
I prefer it in the wintertime. I've always like a big advocate. I'm like, I want something to cover my face during the wintertime because
cold.
My face is cold. I have a beard, but it's not like thick and bushy and like.
But even then, like
protect,
like right here, like my forehead and my cheeks, like the top of my cheeks get cold. My nose gets cold. I don't have hair on my nose.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I don't.
So it's been great for work. It's
difficult because it's very dry. It's a dry cold, so it's not. I mean, it's
our saunas
cold.
Our saunas
hurts.
Our saunas kind of open or have opened up again, so I'm getting ready for the Utah summers, and I've just been using a sauna for the dry heat, and I'm like, time to get ready for the heat because it's going to be here in a couple months.
To sweat my balls off.
Yeah, and like that's what I did last year. It actually really was helpful because then your body gets accustomed to. I mean, it's not 180 degrees outside, but then your body gets more accustomed to walking around in 100-degree heat if you use a sauna every other day for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But before we go, we were just talking about so we're doing this D&D thing, and I think that we'll actually like it. So we're formulating an idea all hinging. Well, we have 2 ideas here. We're formulating some way to incorporate more bits into a separate podcast. So like whether it's me and you doing silly things as far as like playing Yu-Gi-Oh against each other or random shit. So we're really we're really wanting to try this because maybe it could turn into a new hobby for both of us that can be enjoyable to create content so we can flex more of that muscle, much like we've been doing for podcasting, because we've been doing this for over a year now. And I mean, I think we're pretty
Year
good
and
at it.
running.
Yeah.
Is our flexing. Get out of the
That's-
way, George. Get the fuck out of the way, George. Yeah.
Oh Jesus! It looks like a uncooked hot dog.
Yeah, your dick is an uncooked hot dog. I can't flex. I don't want to tilt the earth off its axis.
Oh
I
God!
don't want to flex it back.
You got to flex at the same time. Both arms.
You have to
so
go
it
this
stays.
way, and the whole planet just. Sorry.
It
Flex
really
the other way.
becomes summer over here.
And now it's summer. You're welcome.
Oh God. So we might. Excuse me. Good Lord. We might be starting a D&D podcast outside of the campaign we're just about to start with Ashley being the DM. And so that'll all hinge on, so we might do a D&D podcast, or it might be something silly like a different card game, like would pick up Magic the Gathering or something random like that. However, we already have everything for D&D. So if we like D&D, we might start our own podcast, a D&D podcast, and have it be purely like a comedy kind of thing. So this one, taking it seriously to learn the game, all that kind of stuff along the storyline. And maybe at the end of this story arc, we could just incorporate it into a new story arc and have that be the podcast, but we're still working through all that kind of stuff and seeing what D&D is even about. But also, on top of that, we're debating if we want to start a little itty-bitty business and doing it just to work on our craft a little more of like, okay, well, maybe we can start a little baby network that's like 2 or 3 podcasts. That would be like Soul Talk here, and then our D&D podcast, and then if like your wife starts something or something like that, then we can work on like the business aspect of like, okay, well, I may not have a college degree, but nothing says I can't learn by giving a good product and learning how to market.
Yes.
So the biggest issues we're going to have are if we start a D&D podcast, we got to learn a lot about D&D. I might get one of those how-to for dummies.
Yeah, I'm like, there's so many. That's the thing. I'm like, when you asked me, I was reading about it. I'm like, there's so many things when I looked at, because there's just, like you said, roll the dice to collect your arrow, or they just automatically goes back in. There's like, I mean, it just comes down to like the laxed way to play and like the actual way. And I'm trying to figure out what the right way to play is, if that makes sense.
I feel like it's different for different things. Like with the podcast, I'm sure the campaign's going to be awesome. I'm super excited to play with Ashley being the DM because they know what they're doing. We're totally rookies in this. So that's why we want to play, like, 1, because we want to share their hobby and that kind of stuff. But 2, I don't want to put the pressure and be like, hey, so can we record this? And like that kind of stuff, because it's like, that's not what her story arc is about. Her story arc isn't for entertainment purposes. It's different being entertaining for the people who are there versus playing to an audience that's listening only. Because if your audience is listening only, then they're not going to want to hear like the jokes that we tell each other that aren't to make an audience laugh, but just as a quick aside and all that kind of stuff. Because a surprising amount of production goes into even our very amateur show of we go through the topics. Now that we are on Zoom to incorporate videos, I have to go through the videos, click like go to a certain part, and et cetera, et cetera. So it'll be definitely exciting, but we also need to think of a cool name for like a little baby network. That'd be the hard thing, of something that isn't branded like Soul Talk. So that way, like if we do start a D&D podcast or Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, whatever, and then like if Jessica does want to start a podcast because she's also very creative, then it would just be, okay, well, then we can take care of all of it under an umbrella and then broadcast it that way. So that way it can just be nice and fluid and simple.
That's true. Yeah, I'm excited, like you said, for everything you said. So yeah, I mean, if we do the podcast, let us know if there's anything you guys think Also, if you have any Dungeons and Dragons things, let us know, because this is new to both of us. I tried watching it on YouTube and on Twitch. It's just confusing because I don't understand, and they make these jokes, and
they're not informative.
Yeah,
because it's like I wish I could understand what's happening, but
because I bet it was a funny joke, but
yeah, it's like I need to watch informative, but I don't think they make informative things. I'm sure that it's actually you have to read like the how-to books.
Yeah, so I'm just like
I might just have to do that.
I'm excited. I do want to put it on Twitch, but yeah, like I said, this is just going to be like for us, I think. So we're not going to do that. But
yeah, I would hate to like hijack a campaign and be like, "Hey, so can I broadcast this?"
Yeah.
So like that's just a very rude thing to do to me.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, the first of everything is really shitty. Whether it's our first podcast,
especially if you don't know
the first time
we
played, the first sex tape you make, they all just suck. You need time to perfect it, and then with your hot dog dick,
I came out perfect both times. I'm not gay. Wait,
but I gotta start over. I'm done. But yeah, it's just like the first time it's just gonna be, if we did do a podcast, it would be literally like an hour and a half or 2 hours of how long we make the podcast of. Okay, so can we do this? But what does this funny dice do? Well, can we do this with this? Well, why can't we just use one dice? Why do we have to?
Like it would make sense boring. if I was really good at D&D and I found and I invited Marco, Chris, and Ashley to play, and then we only had to explain it to you. Then that would be like, oh yeah, we can make like a fun joke of it. But where it's like Marco and Chris, because Ashley's the DM, Marco and Chris know how to play, so they're going to be rolling, knowing what they're doing. So half the party doesn't know what they're doing. Yeah, so that would put a cog in the machine.
And it's just like, so.
Yeah, and like to do something creative with something, you have to actually know what you're doing.
Yeah, so maybe the next, so maybe the second one or the third one will do it, because it's just ironing it out. So if we do still have random questions, we can still ask, and it doesn't take it away. Because even if you're a new person trying to watch this, if we target this first, whatever season we do as like how to play Dungeons and Dragons or Dungeons and Dragons from virgin point of view and stuff like that, it's just like, oh, this is exciting. But if they're gonna be like, well, what does this do? Well, what does this do? Well, what does this do? Yeah. It is informative, but it gets repetitive and stale, and you want
and
to leave.
Hard to listen to.
Yeah, no one wants to just like. I'd rather just a short and sweet bullet point answer of how it works.
So that way you can make the jokes like people do on Twitch. And then if you're an avid listener, you'll know like, oh, that is funny.
Yeah, exactly. So
I laugh in Cheetos while I drink my Mountain Dew. Oh, ew. But yeah, so be on the lookout for that kind of stuff. And yeah, like Tony said, let us know of any good ways to find out about D&D, so that way we don't seem like complete and total idiots.
Yes. I don't want to be an idiot on this platform too.
All right, then go ahead, follow me on social media. It's MattSLC or Juicepack Matt. I might just start a third social media just to fuck it up even more. Juicebox Tony for this guy, and we will talk to you guys next week.
Okay, goodbye.